everybody. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel and checking out this video. I have to say I'm insanely nervous to put this out there because obviously things like weight loss and body image and all those sorts of things are very personal, and for some of us they can be very problematic. I know that I'm not the only person struggling with weight and weight loss issues. I know I'm not the only woman out there who's trying to do this and be a mom and have a career and, you know, be a wife and a sister and, and I know that's true for the guys too. I'm not a guy, so I can't really say what your personal struggles are, but I know for me, any sort of self-care is really, really hard, and that includes weight loss and getting fit and healthy in general. So I'm really hoping that these videos will maybe help inspire some other folks out there that are struggling with their weight as well. And hopefully we can kind of inspire each other a little bit to take this journey together. I am also doing this for accountability. So this video, I thought I would just kind of give you a backstory about myself and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and things like that. You can tell by the title of this video that I have chosen to go on the carnivore diet. That may seem pretty extreme to some folks. And honestly, I'm one of them. I think it is kind of extreme, but I think I've hit that spot in my life where I need something that's going to be extreme, and here's why. I have always been overweight for like as long as I remember. I have seen some pictures of me when I was little bitty, like preschool, kindergarten age, and I seemed to be a normal weight. But definitely by third grade, I was overweight, and from then on, the problem just got worse and worse and worse. And it wasn't a diet issue in the broadest sense of the term. I have a sister that's a few years younger than I, and we grew up eating the exact same foods, and yet she was always very thin, always very lean, and depending on what we were having for dinner, she could eat me under the table. She was graced with this amazing metabolism, and for whatever reason, I would eat the same foods, and coincidentally, most of the time I was more active. I have always enjoyed being in sports. My parents were very good about paying for gymnastics and martial arts and basketball and softball and yoga, all kinds of things. And I really enjoy being active, and yet the weight just kept packing on. I did lean up a little bit right around the time that I hit puberty. I was playing basketball and I did lean out a little bit, but I was still very overweight. By the time I was 16, I was at, that's about when I broke the 200-pound mark. I am currently like 5'10", 5'11", something like that, just shy of 6 foot. And since 16, I have never been under 200 pounds, which is tough. It's really tough to go through your teenage years as overweight. I had severe acne issues, which if any of you guys have been doing keto or carnivore or anything like that, you know that that's definitely a sign of hormonal issues. And so, yeah, I've always been overweight. And then when I was 21, I got really, really sick. I dropped a lot of weight very quickly. I'm talking like 50 pounds in a matter of 3 weeks. A lot of weight very, very quickly. And I actually passed out at work. So I went to the ER and they did some blood work. My resting pulse was almost 200. Which is crazy, 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 crazy. That was resting. They did some blood work and they determined that I had hyperthyroidism, and in fact I had something called Graves' disease, which is an autoimmune disorder, where basically your immune system begins attacking your thyroid, and so your thyroid kind of jumps into hyperdrive. So long story short, I wound up having a radiation treatment to kill my thyroid. It killed most of it, but not all of it. A few years later, in fact, I was 29, they discovered that I had actually developed thyroid cancer as a result of the radiation treatment. And so at 30, I had my thyroid removed, as well as some of my lymph nodes. And yeah, that brings us to today. So, one, I've always been overweight. I've always, well, I don't want to say always, but at least since I've been, teenager, tween, teen, I've had a really, really negative relationship with food. I did go through a period of trying to starve myself, purging, making yourself throw up. And neither of those lasted very long because I have a really unhealthy relationship with food. And anytime I'm sad or mad or frustrated, I just eat, whether I'm hungry or not. I'm definitely like the queen of emotional eating. My overall diet is actually pretty good, I think, compared to most American diets. I don't eat much in the way of fast food, like maybe, I don't know, maybe a dozen times a year, maybe. I eat at home a lot. I don't do junk food. So we do, fruits and vegetables and meats and fish and, whole grains. I bake at home. So I would say that my diet really doesn't look like the typical American diet. And yet I just keep putting on the pounds. They keep packing on. And so I was doing some research specifically on people with low thyroid function or people that have had their thyroids removed. Because for those of you that don't know, the thyroid controls your metabolism. And so when it gets cut out of you, your metabolism is almost dead. You do take hormone replacement, but it just doesn't work quite the same way. I was very frustrated with my first doctor, my first endocrinologist, because he swore up and down that I was eating. I had to be eating more than what I was eating because I'm on the hormone. My thyroid levels look perfect. I'm just eating too much. I need to cut out the junk food. Well, I wasn't eating junk food, and he didn't believe me. I was down to 1,200 calories a day, which is too low. By the way, it's too low for someone that is as active as I am. For my stature and everything, like I should not have been at 1,200 calories a day. And he kept telling me to cut more calories. He was actually telling me to get below 1,000 calories a day. Okay, well, we did that for 6 months, and guess what? I went back and I had still gained 2 more pounds. But he didn't believe me. He said that, I was eating more than what I'm telling him. I was eating junk food, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. So I took it upon myself to start doing some research, to see if there were other people out there that had the same issue, and wouldn't you know, there's so many people that have this issue, and they all say the same things. My labs look great. My thyroid levels are like perfect. They're on point, and yet I can't lose weight. Continuing my research, I came across the keto diet. I did do keto for probably about 6 months, and I did lose weight. I felt amazing. I had energy like I have never had since all my thyroid stuff happened. Energy was through the roof. I had so much clarity, mental clarity. My mood swings were gone. My libido had returned, which is something that tends to tank when you have thyroid issues. And I felt great. I really did. But I changed my diet, but I did not change the mental aspect of why I would turn to food. I think a long time ago, I decided that I'm fat and I'm always going to be fat. So you might as well eat the cake, right? Like, this is as good as it's going to get. You might as well go out with cheesecake in your hand, right? That was seriously my mindset. And even though keto worked, I actually got down to 202 pounds, which is the lowest I've been since like 16, 17. And I think that switch just flipped. And I was like, wait, no, you can't do this. You're fat. You're always going to be fat. You're the fat chick. And so I totally fell off the wagon, gained all the weight back, and then some. I'm currently at the heaviest I've ever been, and that is 247 pounds. I've never weighed in that heavy before. I have suspicions that I've been that heavy, maybe even 250. But as far as like actual weight on a scale, this is the heaviest I've ever been. And it was all, I mean, I gained the 45 pounds back in like, I don't know, 4 months maybe. And I was literally just binging all the time. Like, give me all the carbs, give me all the sugar, give it all. I don't care, because this is what I am. And so I did actually seek out some help, changing my mindset, getting some attention for the mental health side of it. Because for folks that have eating disorders, and unhealthy relationships with food, you can change your diet, but I think, one, that's why we fall off the wagon all the time. Two, that's why we tend to resort to very like fad diets, cabbage soup and whatnot, because we just, something in our mind is not working quite right when it comes to food. And so I've spent the last couple months just dealing with that, just dealing with, why do I want to lose weight? Because for the longest, quite honestly, I have 2 failed marriages, and they both ended with infidelity. And if that's not enough to really kill somebody's self-confidence, so yeah, I wanted to lose weight originally because I wanted to be attractive. I wanted to be desired. I wanted someone to want me so much that they weren't going to leave me, right? And obviously that is so unhealthy. Like, just hearing myself say that, oh my God, it's so unhealthy. So I took a couple months to work on what's going on up here before I even gave a thought to what's going in my mouth. And it was really good. I'm really glad I did it, even though the pounds were still adding on. I'm really glad I took that time, because now I'm to the point where I can say, honestly, I want to change because I want to be healthy. I'm tired of my knees hurting. I'm tired of my back hurting. I'm tired of feeling twice my age. I'm tired of having no energy or desire to play with my kids because it involves movement. I'm tired of feeling like I'm just melting into my couch. I'm tired of watching the days and the weeks and the months and the years roll by of just wasted time. I know this is not the best me that I can be. I know this is not who I was meant to be. But the only way I can get to that person is to change. And not just, pick up the latest copy of whatever trendy magazine and say, oh, this is this month's diet. But to actually change the way I think about food and my relationship with food. And that is hard. That is so hard for someone that has such an unhealthy relationship with food and such an unhealthy mindset toward food. That was harder than any diet I have ever tried. Just saying, no, I'm not doing this for a man. I'm not doing this to prove to anybody that I'm worth something. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this for me because I want to live to see my grandchildren. I have a very large frame for a female. I am never going to be a Victoria's Secret model. Like, it's not gonna happen. Plastic surgery, whatever, it's not gonna happen because my shoulders are extremely broad, my hips are extremely broad. Like, I am a workhorse. Like, physically speaking, I'm just larger. I'm just a larger frame than most females. So I had to get rid of those unrealistic expectations. I'm not going to be a Victoria's Secret model. I'm never going to look like that. But that doesn't mean that I can't be healthy. It doesn't mean that I can't be toned and lean and fit. And honestly, this is this is where my mind's already going. I'm like, I bet I would be a really good weightlifter. I really think I've got it in me to just pump some iron. So if you see me in future competitions, you heard it here first. So why did I choose the carnivore diet? I chose carnivore because I did have really, really good success with keto. But one of the issues I had with keto was tracking my macros. And it's just, I'm very lazy when it comes to my diet. I am. I don't want to count calories. I don't want to track macros. I don't want to do those things. I really have a hard time with a lot of vegetables. A lot of vegetables will give me some really wicked stomach issues. So I read about the carnivore diet, and there's been quite a few folks with really, really good success. A lot of women that have had really good success on it. And it's simple. Like, it's so straightforward. It's not, you can only have so much per day. You can have this food and not this food. And you can have this much food. You can have this food, but only in a certain quantity. Eat all the meat. I can do that. I can totally handle that. Eat all the meat. Eat till you're full. Don't eat when you're not hungry. Okay. That's simple enough. And so I am actually on day 2 of the carnivore diet. I'm starting to experience some of the less than pleasant side effects that people have talked about. Mostly the, like, digestive, my digestion's on the fast track right now. Not the most pleasant thing in the world, but it's not the end of the world either. I did have a very similar experience when I was first doing keto, so I'm completely confident that this will pass. No pun intended, but other than that, yesterday was day 1, and I gorged myself. And you know what I learned? This was hilarious. Because it's like, I can eat all I want. This is great. But guess what? When you are eating meat and fat, there is actually only so much you can physically put in your body before you get sick. So I am very optimistic that this diet is going to keep me from, like, genuinely overeating. I do think I will make myself sick, before I can down 5 pounds of beef. So I've already discovered that when my stomach says it's full, I am listening loud and clear, because I don't want to be spending any more time in the bathroom than I already am. Other than that, it's obviously too soon to really see much in the way of effects. I haven't taken any measurements. I will probably invest in tape measures so I can do that. But if this works as well as everyone swears it works, I think the changes are going to be pretty obvious. I'm really excited. I cannot tell you guys how deeply I want this to work. I mean, what do you do? Nothing else works. Do I plan on being carnivore forever? I don't know. I could definitely see myself going back more toward keto. because like I said, it did work very, very well for me. But I've tried everything else. I've tried actual medical diets. I was a vegetarian for almost 3 years. I've tried lots of different things, low fat, low sodium, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. So I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to take you along for the journey. Hold me accountable. I would love to know if you guys are starting the carnivore diet, or if you've been doing the carnivore diet for a while. I would love to hear how it's working out for you guys. Feel free to leave any comments down below. Please be nice. Please, 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 please be nice. This is taking a lot for me to put all of this out there because I am just starting my journey. So any comments about my pictures, well, guys, that's that's what I still look like. So be gentle, please. And I will be back tomorrow with a day 3 update. Oh, and I do plan on sharing what I'm eating. I'm guessing it's going to get pretty repetitive because I'm eating all the meat. That's about it. But I will share that with you guys. And I'm planning on weighing in once a week. Otherwise, I tend to get kind of obsessive, and that's not good either. And I'll definitely keep you updated with that as well. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I would love for you to go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon thingy so that you get notified when I put out new videos. I'm going to try and do videos at least 2 or 3 times a week in the beginning anyway, because hopefully there's going to be plenty to share and plenty to update and things like that. So do hit the subscribe button. I would love for you to join me on this journey, and go ahead and get down in the comments below. Let me know if you're doing carnivore, if you're planning on doing carnivore, what your weight loss goals are. That would be really great to hear as well. And we can totally do this together, guys. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.